Now when your clutch is out of adjustment, what it does is it doesn't want to disengage all the way. And the symptom you're going to find is that it becomes hard to shift. If it's gotten harder than usual to shift, it's not your transmission. I only had it be the transmission once, and that's because the bearings went out in it. It's not about the oil in the transmission, none of that shit. It's because your clutch needs adjustment. So that'll give you a clue when you might need to go in and do a complete adjustment. If it starts in this video, and since I happen to be putting a set of clutch plates in this bike, I'm going to show you guys a complete clutch adjustment. So let's take a look around the other side of the bike, because here's the first thing you do. Okay? Dun-dun-dun. Over here. Alright. Okay, the first thing you do is go to your clutch adjustment. This is your lock nut. I already loosened it up, right? Okay? That locks it. So I loosen that up. And we're going to loosen this a lot. The book says all the way, I think, but see, it's just getting shorter here. That's the first part of it. Okay? This is on the cable, of course. The new cables with the automatic adjusters, I don't know anything about. Never had one. Never gonna. Okay, now, what that's gonna do is put a whole lot of slack in this, right? Yeah, it takes puts all the slack in it. Okay, now on the clutch, you're going to find this. There's a lock nut here, okay? And you break the lock nut loose, which I've already done. Then this bike gets an 11/16. All right? You get that loose, and you take this piece and mess around with it a little bit, right? Just to get it to feel right. And then you put it down to where it just stops. Oops. Like that, okay? And for big twins, it's a half turn out. And for Sportsters, it's a quarter turn. And then you lock this. I'm gonna just a little bit less on this one. Okay? And then you lock it with the lock nut. Ugh. And that's it for the actual clutch adjustment itself. Okay, we still have nothing here in this, okay? Okay, now the object here is to reach in here and turn this out. This is by the book. This is the way Harley says to do it, so... Okay. Okay. Getting pretty tight. Now we check up here. Nope, not there yet. Once I've gotten it to the right place, I'm going to take this screw and adjust it down. I'm going to take 2 wrenches and tighten these 2 together, and with that lock nut, that just keeps it from unadjusting itself. Let me do that. I need both hands for it, man. Okay, now every cable clutch, whether it's a 1968 Triumph Bonneville or a modern bike that uses a cable, you should have an 1/8 inch of play. A little bit of play up there. Okay, and I'll show you why that is. Okay, let's look down at the clutch itself. When I pull the clutch, let's see if you can see it. See the way it moves it? It moves all them plates apart. And the reason you have play in there is because when it goes back in, you want to know that it went in all the way and it's not being held open slightly, because that'll burn your plates out. Okay? So you're looking for that 1/8 inch. A little bit of play up there. If you don't have it, it's too tight. I'm going to give you another little interesting piece of information and show you why on clutch adjustment. When your clutch gets out of adjustment, most of the time you don't need to go do a full adjustment. You just need to tighten up the cable. And I'll show you really how you can tell the difference. If it's really acting squirrely, then you might want to do a complete clutch adjustment. But it doesn't need to be done that often, okay? So, let me show you how you can tell. Okay, when the play gets looser, it's because the cable's stretching. All you got to do is tighten up the cable. If the play gets tighter, goes the other way, then it's because the plates are wearing and the whole thing's moving out. Okay, then you need a complete adjustment. But if this is just getting a little looser, the cable stretch all the time, you probably just need to tighten up your cable. And this job I just did here, although I happen to have the primary cover off, most of the time it's just done through the derby cover, right? You don't need to take this all off. I have this all off for something else I'm doing. So we'll look at one of the other bikes here. This FXR, you just take the derby cover off and reach in through there and do your adjustment. If you've adjusted it and you get out there and you hit it and it disconnects from the wheel and it goes wah, starts to scream, your plates are worn out. Okay, which I'm going to tell you another thing, you guys, that's interesting. Okay, as long as you have the lever all the way out, your clutch don't wear. When you have it all the way in, your clutch don't wear. It only wears when it's in between, and it's a bunch of things rubbing together. I'm making it simple, right? And as they rub together, they get hot. So, although of course you have to use it, if you're a guy that likes to run it in the middle all the time, you'll go through plates fast. And if you don't, if you work around that, I never wear plates out. I don't know that I've ever worn a set out. I've ended up changing them because they've gotten loose, and somebody gave me another set of stock takeoff ones that were better than mine. But I've never actually, but if you're easy on it and you only run it in between when you need to, then it's better off, like if you're going through a parking lot, to let it out and lug your motor, let the motor chug if you can, than it is to run it in between. So that's what I know about clutches and adjustments. 1/2 inch out for a big twin, 1/4 inch for a Sportster. Buy the book. Now, some of you guys probably already know that I've made quite a few how to fix your bike tech tip videos in the past, similar to this one. And although I don't know too much about newer bikes, it's because I've never had one. But these all pertain to the older bikes because I've been riding the Evos with the 5-speed in them for 30 years or more. And I do all my own work, so I've had to fix quite a bit of stuff. And those bikes are really stupid simple. So I've learned a lot over the years. And if you're watching me on YouTube, I have a playlist here that is about the tech stuff. So you can go there. I'll leave you guys a box to it here. If you're on my Odyssey channel, I have one there too, although it's harder to keep up with that one. And Rumble, if you're on my Rumble channel, well, they don't have playlist lists. So I'm going to leave you a box here if it's YouTube. If not, if you're on Odyssey, I will leave you a link below in the drop box that takes you to that playlist. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video.